And from the Jack and G's up. Yeah, we's up 5 a.m. in the morning. And I ain't on CPT time. It's ready time. Oh, I'm ready for y'all to get it in. We got a great show today, man. We're going to talk about, obviously, the headline, Kyle Shanahan and Dan Le Batard and others are not buying his story. We're going to piece that together. We got Rob Parker chiming in on it as well. The corruption, the conspiracy continues. So we're going to get into that. We got a lot of commentary on that. And then we got the WNBA posting Angel Reese and Paige Beckers to quickly delete it because they are gambling, violating their own league rules on this same video. So we're going to talk about that ignorance. We're going to talk about Shams, and he reveals LeBron's secret meetings. We're going to get into a little bit of it. A lot of LeBron talk, how this affects his legacy, going to the Sixers, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of that. We also got Cam Newton, who's going to respond to the ESPN firings, in particular, Ryan Clark's emotions. He talks about all things, and he has some good criticism in there. We also going to get into what great sports analysis looks like. I mean, the best. Like, maybe, you know how Skip Bayless had that Jalen Rose moment, and that's like the best troll moment ever? This is the best sports analysis moment, can you say it, that I've ever seen. I think this is going to be it. So we're going to get into that. And we got why Paul Pierce never apologized to ESPN. We got more. Let's get it in. All right, you know on this show, we ain't waiting. Love to all you guys for rocking with your boy, top fans. I see you guys out there. Give you some shout outs after we get into some work. We got to do work first. What's the rule? What's the Wiley rule, as we say in the house to the itty bitties? What you got to say? You do what you need to do so you can do what you want to do. Oh, yeah. That's all I got to tell you, itty bitties. They'll fall in line. They like that. They're like, oh, yeah, give me some discipline, daddy. Let's go. All right. Dan Le Batard and the crew, they're up. Warning now. They are silly like me. So just stay patient. Hands on the wheel. Unlike, that's not a good joke. Hands on the wheel. Here we go. They gonna go everywhere, though. You know that.
The thing, though, that started this conversation, okay, and I don't know how everyone in our audience is absorbing the Kyle Shanahan stuff. When coaches get in trouble, we like to sniff around. When it smells like cover-up or conspiracy, we do so more. A head coach injuring himself in an accident where he gets 40 stitches, breaks his ribs, breaks his nose, and breaks his hand. And this is the key part. Can't do his job right now because he's got a concussion. Says that he was going 20 miles an hour. Says that the accident was his fault now, that the report is wrong, which as soon as I see that, I'm like, okay, what did the police do here?
Okay, let's stop there because some of these things, I mean, I've been through it. I've been in a car accident before. I've been through a car accident before with the airbags deployed. Been there before where I've had stitches. The most stitches I've ever had is 9. And the hole was this big. It was a big hole in my head right here. If you want to see it, I cut them fools. Have a gangster story for it, right? Make up something. Nah, this is when I got pushed out the swings by those Bloods. For real. So it is a gang story, I guess. But 9. 40? Y'all do the math. That's 4, almost 5 times as big. That's a gash. That's a thing right there. 46. Okay, been there before. Also, you talk about the concussion. Obviously, I've been there before. But, I mean, I've had multiple concussions. I had a concussion at the track meet in Oregon. I had a concussion on the field in Columbia. I had concussions, multiple concussions. This long? It's been 2 weeks? I don't know. It's a different era. I certainly knew how to add and subtract and call plays if needed to be, if I were a coach. Like 2 weeks and going, concussion? We know these guys are now being held back from the NFL when they get concussed. They go into the blue tent, and then the independent doctor shows up, and then all of a sudden you don't see him anymore that game. Then you don't see him the next week. But then the week after, you usually see him, right? Because, frankly, I'm going to be real, he can come back quicker than he did. But after them lawsuits, and we are going to protect ourselves from the liability. Because when I played, there was no blue tent. Hey, buddy, you okay? You sure you okay? You like your starting job, right? You like your money? Like, whatever. It's a different world, but I have a lot of this in common, so we're going to talk deep on it. There you go.
Like, so what happened here? Because in the 11 or 13 days of silence since the accident, plenty of people wondered, well, what else is here? Now he's explained it, and to me, it feels like there are more questions than there were before this started, because he's volunteering, hey, this is my fault. Volunteering that, why? You didn't volunteer that from the beginning. You're volunteering it now. Why are you volunteering that now? What?
Okay, let's defend Kyle Shanahan too. This is the best courtroom ever. We on both sides. We don't give. Hey, if I got all this happening, concussion, broken ribs, and my face got smashed, it got sliced up, 40 stitches, all blah, blah, blah. I'm not giving out statements. Y'all got to speak for me. Y'all got to say something for me now, okay? Now, I know he wasn't unconscious. I know he wasn't in a coma, so y'all like, yo, he could have told the real, and we going to get there. Trust me, you got to walk down this one. This is like in Colors. Remember in Colors? Hey, let's run down and get one of them. Nah. We're going to walk down and get them all, baby.
What are you afraid we're going to find out in that report, or what should have been that report, that you're saying, no, my bad, but 13 days later? The other place I want to tie it to, though, as athletes like Michael Strahan tell you what the job of an interviewer is, because Michael Strahan is now in the space where he is a dominant media power, Chris Sims is not a journalist, but more and more the athletes are the information guys and kind of standing in for the journalists. So Chris Sims is friends with Kyle Shanahan. They've both got tattoos of each other's initials, I believe. Can you guys look that up for me? Is there any photo evidence of this? Because I don't even think of Chris Sims as a tattoo guy. Never mind, I'm going to put Kyle Shanahan's initials on me. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Did you think of Chris Sims as a tattoo guy?
What would make you think, hey, that's a tattoo guy?
I don't think so, but when I heard that he had Kyle Shanahan's initials on him, that seems to be a conflict in the report.
Okay, so supposedly they had a closed press conference. Supposedly we don't have much. We got some quotes, and we're going to go through those quotes. But, I mean, I hate we live in a world where, because you got to be sensitive to everyone's emotions and you don't want to victim blame and victim shame, you just can't say what you really know, which is this is a cover-up. This is absolutely something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? As my grandma used to say, play puss, get funked. And she said it in much more explicit terms. Play punk, play puss, get funked. I would say it, but it's too early for all that cursing.
Reporting of news. I'm gonna get way out there and say that when it comes to information on Kyle Shanahan, Chris Sims has it, but he's not obligated to give it out, correct? Because he's not a journalist and because he's not that kind of information guy, and the kind of information guy that he is an exceptional one. His information is very good, but I'm not expecting him, and you're not expecting him, to be a journalist here, correct, Greg?
Now, this is kind of weird, even though I know what Dan is saying, and I actually agree with him, and I didn't expect Chris Sims to out his boy, because if it was Adam Schefter, yeah, Adam Schefter, you got to out your boy. I'm sorry. You know, that whole, if you knew where Jim Harbaugh was going, you should have just said it. My bad. But the whole point is, you don't expect that of Chris Sims. But if he's forward-facing, camera-facing in front of it, and then you know that there's an accident and it happened, do you think this is never coming out? You think this is going to go forever? I guess after day 10, you're probably thinking like, ain't nobody going to find out. Are you cured? Come on, man. So I don't expect you to do it, but now looking back, I think it would have been the best thing to do. Like always, honesty is the best policy.
No, and if anything, he's betraying a friendship by saying something very private about Shanahan.
Well, he did say something 11 days later, which is that Kyle Shanahan almost lost his eye from the airbag, that the pictures are much bad. They're much worse than you would imagine, that when he saw his face, he was alarmed.
When you guys get information from a friend, not like a source or someone that you've worked with, but like, this is my friend, and then you reveal it publicly, don't you usually think that there was a conversation? Hey, is it okay if I say this out loud?
Of course.
Usually there is, but in this particular case, Chris Sims didn't say very much, and he didn't say any of it until it was already reported. So what he said was he almost lost his right eye and it was bad. But the conversation that I want to have, okay? You guys know I spent a lot of time here talking about the way we cover these things, and there is no obligation in sports to cover this stuff like journalists. ESPN made that so, but there's not actually that responsibility. We can leave these people alone. We can cover them the way we did many years ago when none of this stuff was on limits. It was all off limits. And I think the athletes and the power brokers would prefer it that way. The power always prefers that you can't actually shame them with the truth. But now that we're in an age where the truth doesn't actually shame, and you realize that the power of the press isn't much of a power if when we tell the truth, it doesn't cause shame. If you can just get around it, because I'll just deny it. I'll say I was driving 20 miles an hour. I will say that it's my fault now. The accident is my fault. And I'll make it look like accountability when, no, you were kind of forced out into the light on this one, weren't you? And you didn't want to get out in the light when your face looked a lot worse.
Yeah, but
Okay, let's give that some credit. Round of applause. I wish I had that button, but I ain't set up like that. The way my checking and savings work on this computer right now. What do you say? Hey, that was deep. What he's saying is, look at the levels of how they're boiling this frog, and we're the frog. Look how far our day-to-day is getting removed from the truth. Like, this is really deep. Now, Dan is passionate, and it comes out with levity, and they all get silly about it, but he is really dead set on, journalists were the policemen, the enforcers of truth, at least in what they covered. They used to be. And then this big old entity, ESPN is one example, but all of them got into it, and the incentives shaped and changed how they behaved, because it stopped being about the truth being the gold standard, the truth actually being rewarding. The truth used to get you paid. Tom Brokaw, you know what I mean? Walter Cronkite, we're getting to the bottom of this. Remember those days? and whatever it may be, early sports commentary. What was it? Strictly about the numbers, strictly on the field. What do you think? Bob would love being at Lambeau. And they just talking about it. But when these personalities start happening, this color commentary really took shape, and more vibrant, greater colors. We got farther and farther away from the truth because we started to add on story, which is fine. But to me, it's like a joke. Every joke I hear has to be rooted in some degree of reality, or to me, it's not funny. That's why I don't like slapstick comedy. I don't. Because I'm like, what am I supposed to be laughing at? Like, you just act, or physical comedy doesn't do it for me really either. But I get it sometimes. But the point is, if it's not rooted in the truth, Dan is saying, what are we doing? So they kept boiling the frog. Now the frog done went from truth only, rewarded, you get paid to be the truth teller, to add some color to it, some spice, some condiment, some story to it. But still keep it true, keep it real. Then it got exaggerated. That's when he brings up ESPN, to the point where now something bad happens. You don't have to say a word, or you can deny it, lie, wait to see what happens. Oh, they don't know? And then everyone is getting rewarded, reinforce the bad behavior, the negative behavior, and the people who ain't doing nothing, they just keep climbing the social ladder, keep climbing the work ladder. But when you get caught, all you got to do is say, oh, my bad. Oh, they didn't tell you? Oh, no, it wasn't their fault. And then there's no consequence. I mean, if you call this a consequence, people going to talk about you and not believe you. But as soon as they see you, I'm like, can I get a picture? Man, Dan dropped that one, dog. I don't know if y'all picked up what he put down, but that was sick.
We don't know how much shame is merited yet, right? We don't know the extent of guilt on Shanahan, if there is any guilt. And he buys a lot of goodwill by coming off as honest, even 2 weeks late, and saying it was my fault.
But was he, is my question. Like, I don't know what happened here either, but it doesn't sound right to me. 20 miles an hour, you were fishing for your phone, you never hit the brakes, and now you have the kinds of injuries that you almost lost your eye. I just didn't know it was possible at 20 miles an hour to be so oblivious. If you were not passed out at the wheel, if you're driving your car, I didn't think that it was possible at 20 miles an hour to be so oblivious that you never hit your brakes and you're getting an airbag in the face that you weren't expecting in any way. I didn't think that could happen at 20 miles an hour.
Dan,
Now, we're going to get into all the details of what did happen, but 20 miles an hour is slower than a human being can run. Like Tyreek Hill, old Tyreek Hill, not now. He can't even feel his left leg. He said no power in it. But Tyreek Hill, peak powers, is faster than 20 miles an hour. That's not fast for a car. That's fast for a human. So to Dan's point, he's like, okay, what is going on here if you can't get yourself together and avoid all of this at 20 miles an hour?
you don't have to be going that fast for your airbags to deploy. It's all about the car sensing the collision and then the rapid stop. And more people get injured probably off of airbags than they do off of car accidents themselves.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
statistically right? That can't be statistically
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More people get injured from the airbag. So wait a minute. If Kyle Shanahan had said this, does this buy him anything in terms of diluting your suspicion? Hey, the airbag did this. I hit the brakes too hard at 20 miles an hour and the airbag exploded in my face.
Well, apparently that is how he got the cut on his eye, is from, we all have that garage clicker on the visor in our car, right?
Yeah.
no, not anymore. Most people have that electronically.
Oh, I
have
still
one-
do.
I still have one of those too, but that's
Yeah.
only people over 40 who have that. Everyone
Oh,
else
you're
has,
old.
everyone else has a smart car.
I still have that. And that came flying off from the airbag and sliced his eye.
Well, and the airbag gave him the concussion. The airbag probably gave him the broken ribs as well. It punches you. It hits you because it's trying to stop you from moving forward. And it's not just hitting your brakes hard. It is the collision with the vehicle in front of him, which we know that happened. No, what makes it suspicious isn't
Let me talk about the airbags. You ever been in an accident and the airbags come out? Phew, you're like, God. First of all, I'm serious. I know sometimes people slip up. If you got an itty bitty, do not put them where the airbags are. I'm not playing, dog. That thing it could take them to the sky. It's insane. It comes out with the force. You got to think what kind of force has to come out before you hit your steering wheel or your windshield. Should have your seatbelt on, not deploy you, right? Before you hit that, that thing is already inflated. And it stinks and it's hot. It's super hot and stinky, and you're gonna have either heat, like a heat burn or something on you. Something's gonna be on you, you're gonna burn somewhere, or you're gonna get smacked, a baby concussion. It is. But it's better than the alternative, right? It beats the alternative by far.
any of the details, Dan. There's no detail that's going to make it suspicious. What makes it suspicious is, why was this a secret? Why was this hidden? It's a fender bender. His airbag's deployed. He got hit. He's got all messed up. If that happened yesterday and we found out the news today, we're like, oh, that sucks. But the fact that it was a secret is what makes it suspicious.
And not
Okay, the only reason I think it's suspicious is because he knows that phone it wasn't gonna sound good. Maybe he exaggerated. Maybe he was paranoid. You know, paranoia is an extreme. It's an exaggeration. I think he knew, oh, this ain't gonna look good. I was on my phone and then I got in no accident. It could be that simple, or it could be deeper. Of like, what were you doing in that car? Who was in that car? Look, if you're gonna cover something up, make sure you're doing some good covering, right? Don't have a big scandal and it's over a little problem. Like, people really get into accidents a lot because of their phone. So that, you're a little paranoid, coach. Somebody should have said, hey, coach, don't call that play. That's a bad play to call right now. Like, just admit it. You were on your phone. You're looking for your phone. But he is going to admit it when we go through the transcripts. You're going to be like, oh, my God.
Not only that, but what is the instant imperative that makes you go fish for a phone you've just dropped? You can't wait 10 seconds. You can't wait until the next stop sign. You can't wait until you park. That's happened to me. you know, sometimes the phone winds up near the brake pedal.
I hate that when it's like I put my phone sometimes between my legs, and then you hit the brakes, and all of a sudden your phone's by your feet, and you're like,
yeah, but you don't have to immediately take your eye off the road and go fishing for your phone. A lot of this smells foul. I'm sorry, Kyle Shanahan. A lot of this smells foul.
You're not sorry.
Okay, everybody is admitting they're on their phone when they're driving. Just FYI. Okay, just you hear it all through all of them. Phone on the lap, phone between the legs. If your phone ain't in the cup holder or charging, what we doing here? So look, I just want everyone to know where they're starting from. They all admitting this.
Sorry, and you just took one of the easiest stances that have ever happened. They wouldn't call them accidents if they happened on purpose. Like the way that happens as an accident very often is because there are a lot of people in our audience who want to get that phone right then and there. They're detail oriented. They're obsessive compulsive. They're anal. And you're right. You're correct. You need to wait and not put people in peril. But there are some people that can't abide the anxiety of the fact that their phone is now over there and not in their hands.
I do it out of the fear that my phone's gonna like get locked in with like the pedals and stuff.
Dude, that's happened to me before. The phone slid under the pedal. I'm trying to brake. The phone is stopping. I can't stop. We're out of control. Get out of the way. I've got a phone on the floor.
Hey, real spit, that happened with me because, you know, in the car, pee bottle. Who ain't got a pee bottle, right? You get a big pee bottle, and then that thing slide and hit that. You better be careful. I've seen that before.
Tony, I'm looking at you while we're talking about all this driving thing, and what I see is somebody who does bad shit on the road.
That's you know what? That's not right. That's not right. Bad shit on the road is
okay. This is I know Dan too well. They about to go off the rails, and if they not, it's just we don't need to go all the way. All right, love for Dan Le Batard. Let's keep the energy going on that because I want to get a little deeper into this, into the comments. But first, let's get a video out. Let's show some love. More color commentary. Oh God, Rob Parker from the Columbia University. I just said it like Ohio State, and we don't say it like that. I want to give him some props on this as well. Let's go. Let me give you some love. Let me give you some love. I'm not sharing you, brother. Here we go. I got to share you with the people. Let go. Talk your talk.
Disgraceful. And you could get away with that in Santa Clara. One in San Francisco, a bigger police force where I think you'd have a harder time.
I agree with that.
Hiding a story like that. But Chris Sims, please. Chris Sims basically pulled his pants down, turned around, and showed his ass to let you know that there's nothing coming out of his mouth that he's ever going to be objective or tell you about the 49ers or about Kyle Shanahan. Because he basically said he's a friend, and even a guy who's supposedly a member of the media and is going to go up there and talk about everybody else and their situations was mum.
Damn. Another one dead. Like, for real, I'm fighting it because I like Chris Sims so much. But I can't lie. Whatever he speaks now, from that point on, it's just like, okay. You know, like you're around somebody, you got a beef with somebody. Y'all beefed it out. Y'all understand each other now. Y'all don't like each other. Y'all talked it out. Not fighting, just like, okay, I don't respect you no more. You did that, I don't respect you. Or vice versa. But then y'all got a friend in common, right? Me and Chris and I got something in common. We both love football. Okay, so I'm going to be around you, Chris. That means I'm going to turn my TV on and watch you. You might turn on your internet and your YouTube and watch me. I don't know. Point being, we're going to be around each other. Now I got to hear you talk. And you know, like, I know how most people are in that situation. Most people act like they're ignoring them. They got energy, negative energy. They acting like they ain't there. And you know, to ignore is to pay attention. That's why I don't ignore people. If you don't like me, you're going to know you don't like me because I'm going to say hi to you. I'm going to say, well, how you doing? And you're gonna be like, no, you know I don't like with you. You know I don't mess with you. I was like, but I'm not about to walk around here acting like you don't exist. You ain't here, ignoring you, which is paying you more attention. Oh, I want to go to the bathroom. Oh, he over there. I ain't going to the bathroom right now. I'm gonna act like I don't even see him by the bathroom, but I need to go to the bathroom. I'm not doing all that. You're not controlling my life. I'm gonna speak to you. Okay? But I have apathy for you. Like, I'm apathetic. But the point is, when I see Chris Sims talk now about football, Chris Sims gonna be talking about football and be like this. Really? And if he goes in on somebody, oh, guess what I know? Guess what I heard? We're gonna be like, nobody cares. Who cares? I mean, it's just crazy. And it shouldn't be that extreme, but I don't know if time heals this thought process in this womb, but I know you know now something that you were just looking out for your boy. So when you go in on somebody, is it just because he not your boy? You gonna criticize somebody, Jalen Carter, who just got paid and spit on somebody, remember last year, Dak? I don't want to hear, if that happens this year with somebody else, I don't want to hear about it. Like, not from you. It's just gonna be a weird dynamic.
Be damned. Seriously. And the police around Santa Clara in the stadium, shame on you. Whoever's in charge, the police chief, whatever, they all should have to resign their jobs for public safety. Those are public records. People should know when there's an accident. There's no way in the world that should be hidden. The police are wrong. This is why people don't trust the police. This kind of stuff. I told Rob G in the early meeting.
Yeah.
I said this went on in the 50s when Mickey Mantle was driving drunk for the Yankees and the police would get in his car and drive him home and not take him to the police station. That doesn't happen now.
Right.
Okay? But Chris Sims is a good deal.
One is enabling behavior. And let's just be real. We all have grown to a place where you start to realize you're glad you got disciplined. You're glad you got caught. You're glad that didn't go well. Because if not, what's going to course correct you? What's going to get you back? Dog, I remember when I stole them batteries in the 12th grade. I've told you this story before. And that was the last time I ever stole something. And I'm glad I got caught. My principal looked at me. She said, Marcellus, I got one question for you. You going to do this again? I said, no, ma'am, and have not. But imagine if not. Then you get to college. The stakes are bigger. You playing D1 ball, and then all of a sudden you do something like that. You go pro. I don't know. You turn into like, who was that, Angelo Ball? You go out the country and do it. I mean, you got to get course correct.
Oh, I've been waiting. Doesn't he work for Pro Football Talk? Doesn't he work for us? If you're Mike Florio sitting next to him, seriously, that's the freaking guy I want to be on my podcast with my website, Pro Football Talk. You have an exclusive story. And now he comes in 2 or 3 weeks later and goes, because Kyle Shanahan's a great guy. And that's why they held it a secret. What if he died? Are you kidding me? Bad all around. Especially the police and especially Chris Sims. I wouldn't trust that guy with anything. And I'm talking about for information or knowledge. Mike Florio, really? Mike Florio sat there and thought that was okay? That his partner on his podcast sat there and held that from him for 2 weeks? What?
Look, I'm not a big believer that thank you, Rob. I'm not a big believer that Mike Florio didn't know. Because I know when I have a partner, we be talking before and after the show, like, yo, I got something, but I can't tell you. I can't tell the world, but I'm telling you, big dog. I mean, that's just how it works. You know, all the partners I work with, I rock with, I can imagine Acho saying it, Kellerman saying it, Whitlock saying it. I probably unsaid it to them, like, watch when this one hit. And sometimes it's not even done in negativity. It's just like, yo, wait till this hit. You like, ooh, wait. All right, now let's get into this. Because this is crazy. I gotta Kyle Shanahan, car accident. All right, then we're going to be done with this topic. And we're going to talk about why you should not ignore your enemy or hater, or whatever the hell y'all want to call him. Y'all shouldn't ignore him. I'm going to tell you why. All right, here we go. You should acknowledge they butt every time. Here we go. All right, official statements and everything. So here's what Kyle Shanahan has said on record. I hit her. I don't know why it was reported that way on the collision report database. The police report doesn't say that. Okay, so a discrepancy. He said, I read the police report and didn't say that, but then they got to the public record and it changed up. He's like, that ain't my job. I was driving. I was going 20 miles an hour. I was not on my phone, but I dropped my phone and it was stuck in my seat. I took my eyes off the road looking for my phone and my car veered into someone. Okay, we get all those beats. We get it. Now, you not on your phone is a literal statement that can be taken in a grander scope of like, but why is your phone on your lap? Blah, blah, blah. If your phone falls into between your seat, why wasn't it already secured? Because you probably was using it. Like, and I know this happened in a Tesla case before, because Tesla films outside and inside your car. They were like, oh, you weren't on your phone? Oh, okay. Okay. What time this accident occurred? They start doing that triangulation. They start getting them surveillance cameras. Everything start pinpointing you. They get exact time. Boom. Let's look in that car and see what happened. You like this. Come on, man. Be careful. I'm just saying, be careful. Don't dig it deeper. It's one of those roads where there's no forgiveness. When I hit her, I'll never forget how violent the impact was. No, you won't. I was going 20 miles an hour. Thank God. I don't know how I would have handled it going twice as fast as that. Okay. Let's all put our legal hats on. Be careful saying 20 miles an hour, because if that number comes back different, and it will, I don't know what they put down if they already got it out there, but maybe he already knows that and he's saying it because he knows it. 50. If it comes back, you were going 37, that ain't 20. Anything with a 3 on it, it just crushed me hearing the girl get blamed for it. I'm just lucky that I survived, that she didn't get hurt, and that I didn't lose my eye. Okay, respect to all that. You survived, that she didn't get hurt, you didn't lose your eye. Yes, yes. When did you hear that the girl got blamed for it is the question. You know, sometimes when you're late to the party of telling the real, you don't bring all you should bring. You know what I mean? You ever been there? I know about that. Right? You coming late now. Oh, you want to say, oh, you forgot. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot. Oh, yeah. When did you know she got blamed? Did you immediately say, oh, no, 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 no? Or did it come out and then you be like, oh, man, that was messed up what y'all did to her? There's a big difference between you just being forthright and saying it, and all of a sudden you say, oh, that's messed up. Okay, here we go. What the 49ers say. San Francisco 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan was involved in a car accident last week. Last week. The reason I laugh, and I know sometimes I feel like this could be a nothing burger. For those who think this is a nothing burger, let me help you out. Why this is something to the people in the media and a lot of athletes, but the athletes just like, man, look, we got training camp. We ain't tripping. we got bigger fish to fry right now. It's camp time. It's because when you do something less egregious, but it gets more attention immediately, you sitting there like, which way is up? That's the only reason, right? You know how it goes when you were in class and the person next to you was cheating, the person next to them was cheating, and then you look, and then all of a sudden they got you all hemmed up, and you like, what do you mean? I wasn't really cheating. You kind of were looking, but you wasn't cheating. And then you sitting in the office like, I can't believe I'm in the office, and I just look. Them suckers is straight up cheating. You should look at his hat. Look at his calculator. You remember those calculators, the scientific calculators? Oh, my God, cheat code. And you don't want to snitch. You don't want to get them all in trouble, but you're like, that's how people feel about this story. They're like, you done came at me for less. That's it. Okay. San Francisco 49ers. This is head coach Kyle Shanahan involved car accident last week where he suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Coach Shanahan will participate in team activities on a limited basis at the start of training camp while he recovers. Sound like a player, huh? He limited. Coach Shanahan and the 49ers organization would like to sincerely thank all first responders involved for their efforts and care. Oh, they took care of him, all right. That's too much. He's okay now. So, like in football, dude get hurt. All right? You good, big dog? You good? Oh, you are? Okay. He laid your ass out, dog. He killed you. All right. Assistant head coach Chris Forster, along with team coordinators, will handle head coach responsibilities during this period. One of my mentees is a big-time exec with the 49ers. I ain't even hit him up to get the real. I could hit him up and get the real. I don't even want to get in the middle of this story because they already did their cover-up, so let them have fun. John Lynch, official 49ers update. We're going to let the condition, the doctors dictate how he comes back when he comes back. Number one for Cal and the Shanahan family is getting him back right. He's a tremendous head coach. You ain't lying. But this is bigger than that. Yes, it is. This is about his well-being. On whether Shanahan will miss week 1, that's not what we're anticipating. That's not what I've heard from the doctors. So he's not going to play. He's not going to coach the preseason, but he's going to play. Next time a player want to do that, y'all better shut it. Hey, man, I don't know, coach. Y'all need to let, what's my boy name that's be doing these Instagram videos? He done lost his mind right now. He need to just pull this stunt. Like, look, I ain't doing no camp. I know I've been talking trash about y'all. What's his name, that receiver? Oh, Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk. Ayuk need to pull this same. He need to quote that right there. Forget training camp. Forget the preseason. I'll be there for the games. All right, here's what the police department said. And this is kind of tough right here. This is the worst part. They saved the worst for last. Lieutenant Nicholas Martinez said, I can confirm that Kyle Shanahan's statement that he provided is correct and that he was found at fault for the collision. There was a clerical error in the preparation of the report that was transmitted to the state database. We are in the process of correcting that error. I don't like calling people liars. I really don't, because even when you got them dead to rights, it's like 99.99%. Maybe something happened and you don't know, and they don't know how to articulate it, but it happened. I don't know. I don't like calling people liars. But I do like quoting Outkast because I got rap Tourette's. 2 things I hate, liars and thieves. They make my blood boil. Boa constrictor around my soul that you coil. Ooh. Okay. Data error, clerical error. Okay. I remember, and I don't know when it was, I was talking to MJ, itty bitty. And this is when he was really going through his lying phase. He was like 8 or 9. He really was just trying to, he's figuring out, hey, I got a new phase of knowledge and consciousness. Like, I got more freedoms. And so you start taking liberties. And I'm just watching him because I'm laughing because I know how I was at 8 and 9. I did the same thing. I was like, oh, mama ain't tripping. Well, I'm about to fall. And I remember finally he did enough lying. Dad, I said, you just get up? You just wake up? Yeah, you just woke up. Oh, okay. All right. So the next day, I'm gonna wake you up. Not wake you up. I'm gonna go in your room and see where you at if you're not sleeping with me already. Go in there. Guess what? That boy on the toilet with his iPad. Acting like he had to go pee in the middle of the night. Nah, you just on your iPad. I said, uh-huh. So finally, I had to have this conversation. The reason I bring this up right now is because I had to remind him that there's so many different ways to lie. And I told him about one thing that I noticed that a lot of people don't even catch is that coincidences that occur that are always in your favor. Oh, I wasn't even on the iPad. It was just around me. Oh, coincidence. You around the iPad around you. All the coincidences that occur just happen to break for you. Just be careful. Now, if you haven't noticed this before, watch people where when it's a coincidence, it just could benefit them, not you. That's another way, another play of how a lie is constructed, just FYI. Police also stated that neither driver received preferential treatment and that it is within an officer's discretion not to issue a citation. Okay, I get that. They didn't give him a citation. People trying to say, oh, so that's the beginning and snowball of all this. Bottom line, Shanahan took responsibility. Okay, let's get out of this. What do I think of this? Button this up. Eventually, Pablo Torre will get a hold of some info and out his ass. Francisco Aguilera says, shout out to him. What do I think about this right now? We all know, people always say that when there's smoke, there's fire. That's not true. I don't believe that statement. I never have, never will, because I live in LA. And in LA, there's always some smoke. It's called smog. And it ain't always a fire. But in the summer, it feels like it is, right? But in all seriousness, there's a reason why there's a word called coincidence. Like, no, that has nothing to do with that, but it just happened at the same time, right? Or same era, or same, there is that. Trust me. Those two things are not the same. Those two things are not the same, but you connected them for some reason. But this one is not that. This is not even smoke, because no one knew anything. This is actually, look, fire. And then you're like, how long that fire been blazing? And you're like, somebody say, if right here you sitting there and somebody said fire right next to me, I would not expect an inferno. Because I would expect somebody when it was small or just starting to say something. You imagine somebody just write fire. Oh, snap. Like, no. So that's what this is. That's that dynamic. That's why this doesn't smell right. This is not where there's smoke, there's fire. This is, no, there's fire, and it's bigger than we thought. And why didn't I know, or you tell me that there was a fire that big before? All right, beat up in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Master Proplex is #1 fan right now. I love you, Master Proplex, but Dan Fan, #2. Universal Trappers, #3. Adrian Robles, #4. Just Jewel, #5. I'm going to be like Stephen A and all them dudes. Now I understand why they don't say somebody's name when they be trying to get him. They be like, ain't got nothing to say. Got nothing to say. All right, let's get into another story right here. Woo! Let's get into, man, we're going to do the long ones first. I want to do this Cam Newton one. I want to do Cam Newton respond to ESPN firing since he got fired, Ryan Clark stuff. Then we got the WNBA and all that stuff. All right. If you don't know what we got, go back to the beginning of the show. Shoot, I hate teasing all through the show. Y'all be like, dog, just talk about some more topics. Shoot. Get it in, Wiley. Love to you guys, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with your boy. You know what I'm saying? Where's the Cam Newton one? I'm over here trying to load it up. Cam Newton. Vainglorious. That sounded like the same beats. Cam Newton. Vainglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green at the crossroads with the key. Sissy.
This comes after Ryan Clark, all right? Got fired from ESPN. He sat down on the pivot and had a very detailed conversation about his transition from ESPN, and he started crying during the process of talking about it. So, Shady McCoy, like the internet is divided. Some people is like, bro, this is how you explain yourself, and this is the emotions. And some people are saying, like, bro, Ryan Clark is doing it for the clicks. Cam, what's your thoughts on what Shady McCoy had to say about Ryan?
All right, here we go. Now, I have to be the one to tell my point of view.
Okay.
I only know how.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with Shady. Okay. Shady is doing a job that requires him to give his opinion about a topic. Who am I to tell him that he's not able to do it how he wants to do it, say it, or present it?
Okay, I see that.
Do I agree with it? No, I don't. But I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
It feels like it was more staged
Mm-hmm.
than actual feelings. Now, I did watch the whole 47 minutes and some change of the pivot and how Ryan Clark distinctively talked about his time at ESPN.
If y'all haven't watched that, first of all, support the pivot, support Fred Taylor, Shannon Crowder, and of course, Ryan Clark. But that's a really good interview. Not even interview. It felt like an interview because them two were asking questions to Ryan, but he really went inside of what he thought, what he felt, and he was vulnerable. That's why it was a really good 47 minutes. I watched it. I don't really watch a lot of full episodes of anything. I watched it because I was like, damn, he really went through it. Like, he took you through the roller coaster he was going through. Worth a watch.
For 12 years.
Yeah.
Him, Channing, Fred, got the utmost respect for those guys. And I didn't like something about that interview.
Hold on. What is that?
Right? What's up?
I hated how, even though it was so true, I hated how Ryan Clark's vulnerability and some of the things that he was relaying in his message got him to, in some ways, this was my visual of how I saw it. This man was forced to
Careful. Huh?
I feel like Ryan Clark was brought to his knees in front of the world and made an example numerous times at ESPN. And when he talks about these things, that's what I didn't like. Because his truth is his truth.
Oh, I shouldn't pause it, but fair use. I don't want to get cut off part one. But part two is, if anything, before Cam just said this, I would have thought Ryan Clark had carte blanche. Like, he was saying whatever he wanted. He was interrupting Monday Night Football to get something off his chest. How many times have we seen Ryan Clark hit him with the Desmond Howard? Hold on, dog. Hold on. Ryan Clark was getting away with so much, he starts saying stuff that he knew he shouldn't say. What did he say to Peter Schrager before he said what he said to Peter Schrager? He said, I know I just want to apologize before I say this, because I know we shouldn't be saying this on TV. You talking about brought to your knees? That boy was standing 10 tippy toes down. He was flying. His feet were off the ground. He was high. But I'm going to listen, Cam, because you know you're my favorite. But really?
When he says certain things that I couldn't be too black, couldn't respond to disrespect, as if to say, when I watch the pivot, I love to tune in to see what they have to say about certain topics. They had to dial it back some because of the sensitivity or because of the state that Ryan Clark was in.
Okay, good. Perfect. That's what we want. This is film study, y'all. Y'all can call me whatever you want. You're going to come watch the film. That's what coaches say. I don't care if we win or lose, we're going to watch film. Cam, you just said he needed to stop talking about certain topics. That was your quote. Like we do in film, ain't no commentary. Come on, Cam. That ain't it. He didn't need to do anything. He wanted to because the incentives were changing. When the incentives were to talk about social and political things a certain way, you saw him going there, going hard. Everyone started to see the change of tide. Everyone saw the sea change. And then everyone also saw the headwind now if you talk about it that same way. Therefore, some people jumped out the game, stopped talking about it completely. Some people altered, like Ryan Clark. And some people were sitting there with that resentment, even though they knew that this ain't the season. You don't believe me? Before Kaepernick, maybe it was Kaepernick, but it could have been some other incident. But Kaepernick to George Floyd, you know the era. Get up on, I worked at ESPN. Get up on ESPN and start talking that talk. Start talking, hey, this is for the community. I'm just speaking for the people. Do that in like 2010. What? Yeah. Then you be like this. You just be walking to work, got your makeup on, got your suit on. Yeah. You be like, what? Like Jet Li up in there or something. Come on, man. Come on, man. Nah. In the film session, and Cam, my dog, just like me criticizing Barry Sanders right now. I'm like, Barry, that's a negative play. You should have, the hole was there. You just, you doing Barry. I get it. I get it. This is how coaches talk to their great players. Hey, I get it. It works most times. But right now, Barry, hit that hole. Hit that hole next time. You okay with that? That's how I feel talking about Cam when I say something. But Cam, you are wrong. Ryan didn't need to stop being and talking about those things. He wanted to, just like he wanted to when it was working for him.
In essence, saying, I'm not able to be me. I hated that. I also hated when he goes into it and he says, even trying to adjust more or certain people, even trying to adjust more for certain people wanted to, and they still fired me. So I hated that revelation because it was true. And even times when certain people say, Cam, bro, you doing too much, dog. Cam, why you dressing the way you dress, bro? No. Cam, why you growing your hair the way you growing your hair? I hated that Ryan Clark got bumped to embarrassment and shame in front of the world numerous times, and he spoke about it. I love that. And now, when you got a person like me that said, I ain't cut my hair for what? I ain't gonna stop wearing my hats for what? I ain't gonna change the way I talk for what? Because you're gonna do what you're gonna do anyway.
He's right about his point, but I don't know how he got there. I remember I got drafted in 1997. I don't know if you guys remember this guy. He was a tight end that played for the Atlanta Falcons. He got drafted from Kent State, maybe. Hoge Santiago. I think he won a ring. We had the same agent. We worked out together. Point being, he cut his hair. He was a Canadian, yeah. And he cut his hair. And we was like, he had dreads. And we was like, why you cut your hair? And he was like, you know why I cut my hair. And we was like, oh, okay. Just to get drafted, just to look the part, whatever. Obviously, things have changed or things were okay then. He just was paranoid. Point being, I get where Cam is coming from Cam perspective, but I don't remember these moments that he keeps mentioning for Ryan where he got embarrassed. If Ryan chooses not to talk about a topic, we don't even know if Ryan was going to talk about it or not. We can assume, oh, here you go, Ryan going to talk about that. But if he doesn't, is that embarrassment? Is that embarrassing that all of a sudden you can't talk on things? Another point, be real. Here's another point. Don't confuse your audience. And this can happen easily, especially in social media. You could be here talking. I'm talking to you and I'm talking to what I'm hearing and seeing. But don't confuse your audience when you're working for major media like Cam was and Ryan Clark was and still is, whatever. If you're at ESPN, you may be thinking you're just talking to the camera. You're just talking to the audience. No, you're talking to the bosses. Do they like what they're hearing? Whatever it is, some bosses like it gangster. Some bosses want it confrontational. Jamie Horowitz loved to see debates, articulate, intelligent, high-level debates. Some bosses, I know I had other bosses that just wanted to see that you guys are having a good time, that it felt like, oh, wow, that's a party I want to join. They all different. That's why cats get fired and hired. Like Stephen A was gone because them bosses didn't like that, and then another bosses swear by him. So it's not really you as much as you think it is. You all up in your own feelings, in your own head, when it's really some dude who just got power. I give it to you like this. I know people with a lot of money, way, way insane, with a B, billions. They know that they're kingmakers. They know that I could just invest in that company right now and give them 10 million. They'll give me a return of investment and they'll end up making 100 million. They know that. And 10 million to him is nothing. And 100 million to the other people is going to be everything. That boss knows you losing your job to him is nothing, but your job to you is everything. It's a power conversation, man. But I think that Ryan lost sight of the audience. He started playing it just for his people, just for the community. Them bosses is watching too. And last time I checked, I only know one up there that was your people. Only one.
So now, when you have these type of situations that happen in front of the world, now you realize like, okay, I knew what it was. I know that nothing is permanent. From the teams, the organizations, the programs. This is a business. You can't tie your emotions into business. And I think Ryan Clark naturally did that. Does that make him a bad person? Absolutely not. Do you want to critique him for crime? Absolutely not. Because when I look at the whole situation from inside the camp and outside the camp, we always ask men and ask people to be honest, be vulnerable, tell your truth. So I can't tell Ryan, man, don't be. No, I ain't getting mad at that. I'm getting mad at how they played with that man.
All right, I'm going to stop belaboring that point, but I'm going to say this. People are not mad that Ryan cried. People are mad that Ryan is crying again. Right? And really, the real reason people are mad at it and they're calling him out like LaShawn McCoy, which you're responding to, is because he like, dog, the stuff you crying about, I've experienced. And no one can tell you how to feel, but we like, dog, if that's cry level, stop. You're trying to act like you're not sensitive. You're just responding to real impact and real issues against you, real things that really hurt you. And then the other people, they don't want to say it, but they really want to say, nah, that shouldn't have hurt you. Like Sean said, you've been in the NFL before, you've been cut before, you were an undrafted free agent before. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
that's what I'm mad at. Because what he was talking about is what his experience was while at ESPN. So,
I got to stop hearing this. Is a lot of stops, but forget it. I don't care. That's what's wrong with our society right now. We have lost objectivity. By being so inclusive, we haven't included common sense, right? So everybody knows people who either rage bait or they're gaslighters, right? Kids are the best examples. If your kid is expecting a popsicle, you say, no popsicle, you haven't had lunch yet. Someone can walk in right then and say, why is that baby crying? And they're crying so much they can't even tell you. And then you sitting there, what's wrong? You okay? You okay? What is wrong? Finally say, Daddy. And then you're like, what Daddy do? And you're like, Daddy said, I can't have a popsicle. And you're like, man, if you don't get out of my face. That's what people want to say about this. They're like, dog, you got fired. Okay. Everybody got fired. You ain't the first, you ain't the last. Oh my God. That's what it is. That's why people are tripping.
As I sit up here and I sit back and I say, man, welcome to 4th and 1. Well, this is me. You can't Pinocchio me, brother. I'm not going to allow that to happen because in my mind, you have to ask this question. How much adjustment, augmentation, cutting and giving? Well, I could change that a little bit. How much are you willing to change? And then you realize the person that you changed into, that ain't even you.
Do you feel like you changed yourself?
Hell no.
Not at all to be on TV.
No. And everybody knew that.
That's real. But then Ryan can't blame them for him changing. You're going to blame your bosses or ESPN. Who you blaming? You changed. Nobody told you to be who you were. Nobody telling you who to be now. I'm just telling you, you can't be either one of them here. You got to go. Bye. ESPN said bye. Okay, dog. But you talking about, oh man, they didn't let me be myself, or worse, I stopped being myself because I just wanted to keep the job. Hey man, these are the breaks. Like that's their gig, not yours. You're borrowing it. They're giving it to you, and they could take it away.
So I could take my L, and I could go on and roll off in the sunset and say, man, ESPN, thank you. BET. Thank you.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Anybody, Carolina Panthers, New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Thank you. Auburn University, Florida, Blink, Westlake,
talk your
North Lake,
talk.
Solid Rocket,
talk. 6 million ways to die. Choose one. I used to think my favorite quote was life is a competition between you and yourself. And it got me all the way to like my 50s, like to 49 or 50. That was it. But now I went back full circle to my college years when that song came out. 6 million ways to die, choose one. Ding, 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 ding. It said, it's time to escape, but I don't know where the funk I'm headed, up or down, right or left, life or death. What? Whoa, that's critical condition rap Tourette's. All right, let me stop. 6 million ways to die. Fired, cut, heartbreak, divorce, problems at work, traffic, condition. You can pick 6 million ways to die today. What's still been alive, your heart beating, but can't see the kids, can't go here, can't go there. They ain't got enough for that. And you know what you're supposed to say? 6 million ways to die. I choose one. And you're going to choose the one that ain't going to be nothing else after it. That's when you die. When you dead. You don't die all while you're living. That's what people want to say to Ryan. How you going to die over this and you still living? 6 million ways to die. Choose one.
Thank you. I've been me since me could even be. So now, that's what I took issue with. Mm-hmm. Of course, it looks disingenuous when another man cries. It's like, oh man, here you go, doing it for clicks. What? Who am I to tell Shady? Man, you can't say that about that dude, bro. But they got history. Mm-hmm. Whether he likes him or not, cool. That's no different than Rex Ryan talking about Shedeur Sanders. Everybody got their preferences, and everybody's entitled to have their own opinion.
Correct.
So speak about that. But what I'm seeing from Ryan Clark that I hated is that you got this man that's willing to buy in and change certain things about him. Now, don't talk about social justice. No, don't do this or don't do that. These are things that he covered in his interview. And the pivot don't pay me, but I'll say it's a great watch for anybody who wants to see Ryan Clark's take on the matter. Mm-hmm. Go tune into the pivot. But as I was observing it, these are the things, man, they brought this man, they changed this man. It was like,
did anything resonate with you? Like when you hearing this story, like did anything was like, dang, I felt that same way. Or I could, that
they tried.
You know what? This feels like a part two. This feels like a part two. Yeah. He got a lot to get off his chest right now. So I'm a part two that one. Part two coming. Thank you, Cam. Let me tell you what I feel in summation. I don't get into any altercations and fights and all that kind of stuff, despite what you have heard. And the reason I don't is because of my process. My process is I'm very accountable. First with me, self-accountability. Thank you, Charles Wiley. Charles Vernon Wiley, my dad, is Mr. Accountable. I've not heard one excuse from that man ever in my life, and I'm not even being hyperbolic. My daddy, right is right, wrong is wrong. That's it. I don't even want to hear it. And it didn't matter if it were me or him or anybody. He ain't pulling no punches, showing no favor. Right is the favor. Wrong is wrong. So usually my friction comes through the process. Basically, if I'm gonna have a problem, it's gonna be in practice because we gonna work this out. In the game, I'm like Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips used to say this. He's like, guys, if I'm yelling at you on Sundays, that means I ain't do my job during the week. My dad used to look at Wade Phillips. Why you don't wear a headset? Why he never reprimand y'all and yell at y'all? Y'all be messing up sometimes. And I was like, Daddy, Wade believes in preparation. That's the separation. So if we all there huffing and puffing and producing when it's moment time, you didn't do your job before. If you got to yell at your son, hey, box out, hey, catch yourself. We all are guilty. Catch yourself. That boy should have been knowing how to box out during the week. Now, you can remind him to do it, but at the same time, he should know. It shouldn't make you lose your way. My summation is Ryan Clark, and what Cam is seeing is this man is entitled to feel the way he feels and display it the way he wants to display it. My summation is, yes, but we still got to have a decorum, which comes with borders, objectivity, or else it's going to be the Wild Wild West. Deion Sanders understands this. Deion Sanders tells his kids, don't be wearing house shoes around here or else. Get them do-rags off your head or else. Walking around here with them AirPods, just not paying attention in the back of the class or else. And I know it doesn't sound right, and culturally it hurts, and socially it doesn't feel good, but I'm just telling you, it's the way I think. There's certain things we just ain't gonna do. There's certain things you just can't do. And we have lost that ability as a consensus to say what you can't do. So now people doing anything. I don't know what just happened, but I have seen so many horror stories, and maybe it's just because it's happening more or it's just getting covered more. Horror stories in this world. Families wiping themselves out. People just losing their way. And I think it's because they're like, what way? Like we are demeaning, we are undermining the value of life every day. Because frankly, what are we abiding to? You can make that religious, or they took God out of school. You can make that socially. Oh man, don't say that to her. Listen to her. I knew it was going to get to this place and it's going to get worse when they start taking words away. When you couldn't say certain words. And you're like, what? Because now you start to lose. If you lose what a word means, then how's it go? Thoughts, words, actions. What are the words? The power of the words is they connect the thoughts to the action. So now we thinking different. So we're going to act different. Oh, too deep. All right, let me go on to some sports. Y'all don't understand what I'm talking about. Boy, go to church. If you can't walk around and call somebody a punk no more, hey, punk. That's how I grew up. I grew up in the era where you're like, shut up, punk. You're like, oh, now you go to jail for that. And that person don't know they're a punk. You should have took it, punk. Like, I grew up in that era, and that worked. I don't know. Leave me alone. All right, let's get into this. Next topic is Shams and LeBron. Let's get some of that going. Ooh, Shams telling us LeBron was over there sneaking. He was outside taking these meetings, and nobody knew. How nobody know where LeBron at? You know what I'm saying? Well, he said it. Where is it? All things LeBron. This is dope. Rich Paul. Yeah, let's get into this. Ooh, I'm on my soapbox today, boy. I love it. Let's go.
Don't know, but I won't say it.
What is this about? Give me the topic.
You let something slip past you in this entire process. You never knew it. But go ahead, Max. I want Max to. I'll get your brain erasing.
What is it? Hold on. What is it in relation to? Just give me
just the whole process. You didn't catch this one thing, and I was surprised that you didn't catch it. I'm like, oh,
I want to hear about this now.
No one knew about it, and they still don't know about it. And I might reveal it.
So it's a breadcrumb that he didn't pick up on?
No, it's not a breadcrumb. It's a loaf of bread.
Now you
hold on. Hold on. My mouth wide open like, oh my God. Let me see if I can get this going again. That is funny. Oh, they caught me slipping. That's what I get. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. I don't know what to do if I'm going to lose myself. Oh, that's good. Let's see if it works. If not, we out of here. I talked enough. That is funny. Look at me. Start and stop the camera. Oh, that's a good point. I don't think that's gonna work. I don't think that's gonna work. I'm back. Let's see. If this don't work, we out. It's worse now. Oh, look, I made it bigger. I don't want to reset because it's going to be a problem. What is Bosch mode? What does that mean? Y'all got to help me. I don't know these terms. You have to turn your camera off and on? Do I really? He said, come back to Orlando. I ain't going to Orlando no more after what happened to me. Hell no. Let me turn this camera off and then come back. They're trying to mess with my numbers. Trying to mess with my numbers. How you do that? Video. This is my last attempt at it. If not, we're going to have problems. I don't want to stop it because I know if I stop it, it's gone. It said leave. All right, I'm going to hit one button. This is scary. This is so scary. I do not want to do it. I don't want to do it. How do you get this FaceTime thing off? Video settings. Mirror my video. Video settings. I'm scared. Okay. Okay, I see it. I'm just scared, y'all, to touch this button. Oh, funky. Got to do it. You only live once. 6 million ways to die. Choose one. Oh, God. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I'm scared. Do it while they do it. Nah, I can't do it. It says it ain't going to work. Gotta do it. I don't know why this is happening, but oh, well, this be the life. This be the life. Let me see if this works. Oh, I could do this, I think. I'm gonna do it too. Watch this. Watch me move. Watch me move. Watch this, y'all. Let's see if this works. Damn, how delayed are y'all? Goodness. If that doesn't pop up in 20 seconds, purse. Don't make me laugh. Nothing on stage yet. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Y'all like we don't care about it. Oh, that works. Okay. That's better than nothing. You know what? Since it works, I'm about to do this. Y'all just gonna have to listen to me because they ain't showing me. I don't care about me that much. I'm gonna do this one. Watch this. This is the way to do it. All right. Might start doing this more. There you go. Lego.
Beams. The Gilbert family. Grant Gilbert.
Okay. What are you referring to? What happened?
Got to make lemonade in life. So right now, to catch y'all up, Rich Paul is flexing on Shams. He's telling him, hey, Shams, you did not catch something during the process because y'all know y'all was on our hunt, on our scent, and you're supposed to say something, but you didn't. Come on.
Meeting with LeBron in Akron in early July. Is that the loaf of bread you're talking about?
Early July? Wait a minute. How did you know about that?
I couldn't say,
So you thought this got by Shams, but he has all the details.
I thought it got by Shams because
like
he never said anything to me about that. Nobody knew about that. That did not get out nowhere. Nobody knew about that.
Why was this not reportable? Why did you not report it?
So in real time, the integrity aspect matters more than anything because this was information I was told by multiple people on background, off the record. This was something that ethically I couldn't report because, one, it wasn't told to me in a way that I was able to have reporter go double check and triple check. It was told to me off the record.
If someone, in other words, if someone says, "Hey, I can tell you on background, but this is off the record," and you agree to that, then you can't burn them.
And I report that.
Man, so when we hear that Chris Sims story, and we like, yo, I understand you, but at the same time, yo, like they really be pulling punches, and you got to, I guess, for this gig.
That's, I mean,
that's that's journalistically unethical.
As we spoke about earlier on this show, like for me, responsibility is important. Being upfront is important. Ethically doing the job the right way. My job is to tell the truth, but also if it's off the record and it's being told like this isn't reportable,
Right.
you
But
know,
if you talk
and
about
if
what
I did that, you're burning the source. And the other side of it is also this is.
Okay, that's real. He said it. You burning your source. It also could be you heard it retroactively, like way later, and then you're like, man, I can't say that now because it's not even. We passed that point. That's not going to be as meaningful. I don't want to burn my source. It's not going to really pound my chest if I say it. So there's a lot of factors. But sometimes you ever find out something before he sit down with Rich Paul, but way after LeBron sat down with the Gilbert family. You feel me?
You know the history of LeBron in Cleveland, you know, and what he means to that organization, and, you know, something like that. And that's probably why it was told to me off the record, right? Because if that were, you know, something that got out, you know, I do think in real time, it does lead on a little bit.
So people get their hopes way up. And then in the case that nothing happens, which turned out to be the case, he didn't go to Cleveland. Now everyone's crushed.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing that we had to monitor. And that's why I didn't think you had that particular piece of information, because I was waiting on the call to say, hey, did this.
That is dope. Blah, blah, blah. All right, we're going to keep this going. So basically, Shams is like, I knew. I just didn't want to blow up your spot, and I didn't want everybody to get mad. Oh, that's dope. All right, we got one more topic. That WNBA one, we'll do that another time. I just want you to see this. This is amazing. This is the best sports analysis I think I've ever seen in my life. Right here. It's coming up. I want y'all to see this, and then we go. And I fix my Wi-Fi. Damn, I paid for the package. You know, you check in. I got the package. This is insane, y'all. This is some of the best I've ever seen in terms of this is how you do sports reporting. It's going way back. So if you guys don't know, former #1 overall pick Jadeveon Clowney, and he was that dude. And there was a time where obviously people thought really high of Johnny Manziel. Okay. Well, let's just say somebody broke them down before they got broken down. Someone saw that both of them weren't going to be who you thought they were. And it's this guy here. And the reason I bring it up is because a lot of people have been talking about, well, who got caught up in this controversy? Look how old this is. Look at this video. It's all wanky. Jadeveon Clowney, Johnny Manziel, they were talking about, I think it was Emmanuel Acho saying how Ryan Clark built NFL Live, which is not true, obviously, because Trey Wingo and those guys, Merril, Hoge, Sean Salisbury, I know I'm forgetting guys, but the point is I used to work at NFL Live, and it was a thing before I got there. Now, I don't know how many Emmys they won or we won or did we win any, but the point is, forget all that. It was a show. Watch this breakdown to let you know how you're supposed to break somebody down if you're going to break them down.
Jadeveon Clowney is atop Mel Kiper and Todd McShay's prospect lists. Both have him going #1 to the Texans. And you say that's a mistake.
Well, just because people get confused. If you're a good athlete, they transition to that, you're a good football player. And that's not the case. And
he's not a good football player.
He's a very average football player, actually. His fundamentals and his techniques really struggle. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of plays, and here's where he will struggle as he transitions to the National Football League. Even struggled in college at times, and I'll show you. Pad level. In the National Football League and football in general, it's about leverage. You got to play your hips, your feet, your hands, and your pad level. You're 6'5", you can't play here. It's not the NBA. You got to play down here. You got to have leverage, hips. Well, I'm going to show you a great example. This is the first play very first play for University of Florida. Now, the reason I say very first play, I find this interesting. University of Florida is going to come out and they're going to double. They're going to run right at him. Now, listen, they do it down here as well. So from a defensive end, tackle, lineman position, you surely got to come off the ball with great leverage. You can't stand high. You got to take both this double team on, and you got to hold your ground. You have to do that. They like to do that in college, but you clearly have to do it in the NFL.
Yo, they used to teach this technique and how you're supposed to take on a double team. You strike the first guy, and then you twist and turn into the second guy, put your knee down, get skinny, and then pop back up with leverage. It's insane, but you can do it. But he ain't going to do it.
Let's snap the ball and see what happens. At the very snap of the ball, Clowney stands right up. His pad level, just where his head is alone, allows this double team to get traction. Now we're going to be going the wrong way. Instead of fighting this way, we're going to be going this way. Now keep in mind, this has happened over here, but better pad level here. And this guy's not going in the first round or a top pick. Done a better job here of withstanding the double team. We let it go. Yeah, we're going the wrong way. We're still going the wrong way. Okay, in the NFL, it's not going to win. Now here in the passing game, watch this. This is one move he has. He has a great swim move. Well, he does it with such great height here, and he exposes his chest that somebody with pretty good leverage with their hips and their hands, they work right up through him, and they render him ineffective as a not play well. Doesn't have many moves. We have made him famous on the Outback Bowl because of the play that he made. The one thing is I studied that tape, he wasn't blocked. The back was going right where he ended up, and his helmet popped off. Okay? He's going to make plays because he's a great athlete, but he's not a very good football player.
Yo, Merril, I used to work with Merril. The truth. And they called him a hater and all this stuff for this. Man, we need journalists? Journalism? Anybody?
There's a lot of things that he will have to learn and get better at to be successful in the National Football League. In fact, I heard people say, well, they game plan for him in college. Mm-hmm. Are they going to game plan for him in the NFL, okay? The NFL has better game plans than colleges do. And even the Missouri game, all they did is have their back go over there to chip. That's a staple in the National Football League. A guy who plays that poorly fundamentally is going to struggle in the National Football League. There's going to be a lot of work, commitment, passion, all the things we haven't seen with him that are going to have to come from him to get better at it. Can you teach it? Everybody go, you can teach him to do those things. Completely agree. The question that needs to be asked, can it be learned and applied? Is he willing to learn it and apply it? That is where the big challenge is. I don't want to try to have a coach be a babysitter and a motivator. Give me Khalil Mack. I don't have to do all of that, and I have a better football team and a better football player than he will at the first pick overall.
God dang. When I tell you this is the gold standard, this is gang related. And said, go get Mack. He going to be better. This is not the Clowney, because I actually met Jadeveon Clowney as soon as he got drafted and all that stuff. Good dude, and had a good career, but he wasn't that. He wasn't what they said, and Merril knew it.
He was very impressive at his pro day, too.
I guess what? That's a pro day.
Our guys who were there were quite impressed. Teddy Bruschi loved him.
Well, I will tell you this. They don't have pro days in the National Football League. They're going to put 21 other guys on the field. They're going to block you. They're going to hit you. They're going to have pads on. Pro days are for show good athletes. Not surprised. He's a great athlete.
Quickly, where should he go then?
Well, not number one. I would take Khalil Mack in a heartbeat over him, and I wouldn't even sweat about it. And I will have a much – even if he develops, he's still not going to be better than Khalil Mack as a football player. Is he a quick decision maker or just a good one? Okay, so there's different degrees in that. I think he's a horrendous decision maker. Is he accurate? All levels of there. Is he completing passes, or does he throw it where a guy can run after the catch? Does he play within the structure of the offense? Does he understand pass protection and blitzes and where he must go with the football? Can he throw it into voids and throw with anticipation? All of these things I've just described, scale from 1 to 10, he would be a 0 to a 1 on all those categories.
Damn. Merril sitting there dropping jewels, and you notice, look at their faces. Like, goodness, like there's no retorting that. He's coming in with a PhD on this film, and you're going to sit there and try and just globally try to address this? It ain't going to work. You better be quiet. Let that man speak. I want to see how this plays out. Manziel, duck.
I find him to be reckless as a player. And that is very disturbing when you transition to the National Football League. When you're running around and you have no business running, the ball should have come out. You're okay. You win Heisman trophies in college for doing that. In National Football League, you do that, you're going to come back to huddle. And I got 5 grown men blocking for me. And you were making me look, I'm giving up sacks. I'm not going to like that, son. The next time you do that, they're not going to bust you in half. I'll bust you in half. And then
Okay. I'm just thinking of Shedeur Sanders right now. Not fully. He's not Manziel. Don't get it twisted. But when we hear all this, his line ain't blocking, his line ain't blocking, always remember, and I've been telling y'all this, that line is thinking something different, dog. You had 3.24 seconds with the ball last year, highest in the NFL. Some of that was you running around. Hey, be real, though. Some of that was us blocking, bro.
I got a dig route wide open and you don't throw it to me, the wide receiver's not going to come back and go, hey, that's all right, kid, next time. Throw the ball to me. You get it, or I'll bust you in half. So forget about what the defense is going to do to you. You cannot play with poor structure like that and survive and win any respect with your team. Now, I have not seen a game where he shows any sign of those qualities being able to transition to the National Football League. We talked about expectations. His skill set will never withstand the enormous pressure that's going to be required from people are talking the first pick overall or a top 10 to build a franchise, a team around with his poor skill set. It will crumble. It will crush him. Just the expectations based on the poor skill set he has.
Damn. Did he nail that or what? I told you this is the best commentary ever. Good. And that's what happened to Manziel. He got mental quick, and then he couldn't play because he didn't have the skills. Quick. That's why you got to build him up from the bottom, from the fundamentals. Fun with the mental.
So you are going bust.
If he's a first round, shoot, even like really a top 3 rounds. He's a fifth or sixth round grade. If you have a compensatory pick, grabbed him there, but not in the first round.
I'm sorry, I got a question.
Man,
are you saying that Johnny Manziel may not even be worth a pick in the first 3 rounds?
Oh, I wouldn't. The project is so massive. There are so many major flaws.
So what are your thoughts about people who believe he should be the first overall pick in the draft?
Listen, obviously it's not a perfect science, but I think people who would take him in the first round.
I'm saying first overall.
If you took it first overall, I would think that staff would be gone in 2 years, and whoever made that pick be gone in 2 years. You don't make that pick based on the other players that are available to you. You make that pick, we got to question your evaluating players and their transition and their ability to transition to the National Football League very highly.
Merril Hoge, with all due respect, you have never, ever been more wrong in your assessment of a football player than you just were about Johnny Manziel.
Okay. Now, looking back at this now, listening to what Merril said, and this theater we about to see from Skip, this is going to be straight theater. Come on, dog. This is how we get the boiling frog. This is how the frog gets boiled right here. Allowing Skip to even say something after what he just said. But go ahead.
Not only will Houston forever regret if they don't take Johnny with the first overall pick, but he won't be a bust. He's going to be a franchise player. He's going to be a star. He will make Pro Bowls. We cannot be more diametrically opposed here. And
I'll leave it here. Oh my God. I'll sum this up tomorrow because I hate that I can't see y'all and you can't see me. But love for you guys. Skip, stop playing. Hey, I heard that dude woke up. I ain't even gonna say his name. He late. Love for you guys, man. Have a great day. An amazing one. I know